Ponomarev, once a liberal parliamentarian, likened himself to Charles de Gaulle. Does he really pose a threat to Putin? Ilya Ponomarev was once a member of the Russian parliament and a rebellious liberal whom the leadership tolerated. These days he is on a mission to kill Vladimir Putin and his minions. They should be destroyed with a poplar stake through their hearts, he wrote in his memoir. Does Putin have to die? The story of how Russia became a democracy after losing to Ukraine. Ponomarev, who has been in exile in Ukraine since 2016, is political head the Freedom Legion, a volunteer militia thought to consist of about 1,600 Russian dissidents and defectors who use needle-punching tactics to anger troops with aim one day marching on Moscow. To some, Rifkut's a seductively convincing figure. The 48-year-old compares himself to Charles de Gaulle, the French military leader who led his country's resistance against the Nazis from exile during World War II and later became president. Who is the man who is said to be giving nightmares to President Putin? Who will be a candidate again next year? Ponomarev, who describes himself as a libertarian communist, comes from an elite background. His mother once served in parliament, and his grandfather was a former Russian ambassador to Poland. Born in Moscow, the physics graduate started out as a tech entrepreneur, transferring his skills to the oil and gas industry. In his 20s he worked with Yukos Oil, headed by oligarch Mikhail Khodorkovsky, now in exile in London. According to his book, he later worked for a television company and signed a business deal with CNN that was almost blocked by Putin. He was so disappointed that he decided to enter politics. In 2007, at age of 32, he entered Duma, elected on candidacy of Fair Russia, a social democratic party in Kremlin-sanctioned, systemic opposition. Despite this, Ponomarev kept his head down, using the swindlers and thieves moniker for the ruling party previously popularized by opposition leader Alexey Navalny, who is now behind bars. In 2012, he and party member Dmitry Gudkov played a key role in White Ribbon Street protests against Putin, denouncing alleged in the 2011 parliamentary and 2012 presidential elections. The following year he refused to support legislation banning gay propaganda. But Ponomarev decisively crossed the Rubicon in 2014, voting against the annexation of Crimea. Putin was caught on camera refusing to stand and applaud when, in a major speech, he referred to national traitors, a term used by Adolf Hitler in Mein Kampf. This was printed on giant pro-government street banners featuring Navalny, Boris Nemtsov, who would later be assassinated, and the words aliens among us appear under the names of other dissidents. He went into exile in Ukraine in 2016. Since invasion Russia began in early 2022, he has positioned himself as public face pro-Ukrainian Russians, not only on behalf Russian Freedom Legion in Ukraine, but also